TikTok, hey YouTube. Yeah, I'm did y'all see that JD Vance brought Kirk's body back on Air Force Two? JD Vance is rich. He's a millionaire. Charlie Kirk, a millionaire. From what I understand, Charlie Kirk's a millionaire. But we know JD Vance is a millionaire. Why did we, the taxpayers, pay for Charlie Kirk's body to come back on Air Force Two? Did we also pay for the casket? And are we paying for the funeral? They're using our money like it's theirs while telling us, while our kids, the 60% of us, middle to working poor, telling us, because we're all in that together, because that's what a lot of the middle class are finding out now. Remember in the very beginning of this thing, I said the middle class are two paychecks away from being the working poor, and people will come on my platform and tell me, quit talking about working poor. Y'all need to do better. Quit talking about working poor. Now they the working poor because Donald Trump administration has made their jobs close in private sector. I ain't even talking about the federal jobs. I'm talking about in the private sector that he has made their jobs close. And that's a fact. So now they're the working poor. They're losing their homes. They're losing their boats. They're losing their cars. So let me ask you this. Riddle me this. If it was my son and daughter, your son and daughter, would Donald Trump and J.D. Vance make funeral arrangements and bring them back? These people are filthy rich. I'm being cremated if something happens to me. My family already knows. Direct cremation is $875. And I'm a Christian. But I feel like ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I've always felt like that since I was a little girl. I can remember the funeral, one of the funeral directors we had him on every corner back in the day in the hood. And I can remember him stopping by while me and my granddaddy was on the porch swinging, and him and my granddad said, "Oh, you got you another new Cadillac?" And he said, "Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a lot of deaths. It's been a lot of shootings. It's been a good week." From that day forward, and I was a little thing, I remember saying, they'll never buy a Cadillac off of me. They'll never buy it. And I didn't truly really even know what death meant, but I knew I didn't want to buy the funeral director a new Cadillac. I knew that. So we can't feed our children in school, but JD Vance can take time out on our dime where he needs to be working, because we got to work, right? Take a time out on our dime where he should be working. Him and Trump are already running around to every major sports event and any and everything they want to do on our tax dollar while they save their money. While we struggle about, can we buy apples or should we get oranges this week at the grocery store? And we can't get 10 like we normally do because they $2 for an apple, $2 for orange. We got to get one. Why mainstream media ain't talking about this, y'all? Make it make sense. We are subsidizing filthy rich people while our tax dollar and our government gives us back nothing. And they spit in our face. Can you imagine, like I live in Tennessee, we still got coal mines. Can you imagine that coal miner, that they make good money now, but they still just middle class? Can you imagine that coal miner, he dies, because most coal miners are men. You know, there's some women, but most are men. So I'm just going to use he. But can you imagine he dies at the age of 40, because coal is still filthy no matter what Donald Trump says. This coal miner dies at the age of 40. He leaves a wife and 4 kids behind, and she worked too. But a wife and 4 kids behind. Is Donald Trump and J.D. Vance going to pay for their funeral? They're not even going to acknowledge them. They didn't even acknowledge these 3 children that were just unalived the same day that Charlie Kirk was unalived. But yet, and still, even the mainstream media ain't talking about it. It's still Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk. And I realized he was really, really important to Malcolm. I realized that. don't check me on that, but we know he richer than we are. If you don't want his family to have to pay for the casket, pay for the funeral, MAGA, get y'all money up, get y'all coins up, and do the right thing, and pay for y'all hero. For real, for real. And I didn't even have nothing against the man, and I know he was a racist. He kind of was entertaining to me because he was always trying to tell black people how dumb we were. I thought it was funny. I really did. I didn't take nothing he said serious. I thought he was funny. Now I was with him about these boards, and I was with him about what the Epstein thing. Cause see, Democrats didn't even know about the Epstein until MAGA made it a big deal. And then we just sit back because we was like, well, he gonna release the files when he get in office. We want to see who in it too. Because if you rich and you a pedo, we want you down. If you poor and you a pedo, we want you down. Because we can't do pedo, point blank, period, as a sexual abuse survivor. We can't do it. So, y'all, I ain't mean to make this video this long. I'll probably do another one later on today. But why are we paying for rich people funerals? As my grandmama used to always say, let the dead bury the dead. And what that meant was, do not go broke. Don't go broke. And your loved one has already passed, and you still got to live. Well, Charlie Kirk ain't going to go broke because the government is paying for his expenses, at least that casket and that plane ride, on our dime. On our dime. The American taxpayer. Don't worry about council culture. Stay woke so you ain't got to get woke. Let's get it out the mud. The have-nots will defeat the haves. Welcome to the Poor People's Revolution.